Have you ever felt like the more you understand the world, the less others seem to get you? That the deeper you go into your thoughts, the more distant you become from those around you? You're not alone. It's not just in your head. History is filled with brilliant minds who've been misunderstood, pushed aside, or even persecuted, not because they were wrong, but because they saw the world in ways that made others uncomfortable. Think of Socrates, who was executed for corrupting the youth, or Galileo, who was silenced for challenging conventional wisdom. From philosophers to inventors, the truth is clear. Deep thinkers have often been feared, not for their ideas, but for the way those ideas make the world around them seem so inadequate. So, why is it that deep thinkers are so often pushed to the fringes of society? Why does intelligence, especially profound, disruptive intelligence, tend to isolate those who possess it? To find the answer, we must look beyond the surface. It's not just about knowledge or reason, it's about what intelligence does to the way we view ourselves and the world. You see, intelligence isn't just a tool for understanding the world, it's a mirror. And when someone looks into that mirror and sees a reflection of their own limitations, it's deeply unsettling. Psychologists call this phenomenon the mirror effect. Deep thinkers don't just introduce new ideas, they force others to confront their own shortcomings. And that's uncomfortable. Imagine being around someone whose thoughts challenge everything you've ever believed. It doesn't just make you question ideas, it makes you question your very sense of self. And this is where things get interesting. Why does intelligence trigger such a strong reaction? Think about it. When you encounter someone physically stronger than you might admire them or even feel envious, but you don't necessarily feel personally threatened. The same goes for wealth or beauty. These are qualities we recognize, but they don't fundamentally challenge who we are at our core. But intelligence, it's different. Intelligence is tied to identity. It's not just about what someone knows, it's about how they see the world, and that can make us feel small. The more intelligent someone is, the more they reflect our own ignorance, and that can feel like an existential threat. But here's the twist. This reaction is deeply rooted in human psychology. We've evolved as social creatures, and for most of our history, survival depended on group cohesion. If you didn't fit in with the tribe, you were outcast, and that could mean death. So, when a deep thinker comes along and challenges the status quo, they disrupt the social order. They make the group feel insecure. And in that moment, intelligence isn't seen as a gift, it's seen as a threat. You might have noticed this in your own life. Have you ever tried to share a complex or deep thought, only to be met with blank stares or quick topic changes? Or maybe you found that when the conversation gets too deep, people start pulling away. It's not that people don't want to engage, it's that they don't know how to. The human brain is wired to seek social harmony, and when a deep thinker enters the conversation, they disrupt that harmony. They force people to face uncomfortable truths, and most people would rather avoid that. So, why does this happen? Why does society resist intelligence, especially when it could lead to progress and growth? Well, it comes down to one thing: comfort. Most people would rather live in a world of familiarity, even if that world is flawed, than face the discomfort of change. It's not that people don't value intelligence. They do, in theory. But when intelligence demands that they rethink everything, they resist. Why? Because deep down, it's easier to reject new ideas than to question the very foundation of your beliefs. Take a look at history. Think about the great minds who've shaped the world. People like Einstein, Darwin, and Tesla. These individuals weren't just scientists or inventors. They were visionaries who challenged everything people thought they knew. And for their trouble, many were ridiculed, ignored, or even ostracized. And while their contributions eventually changed the course of history, it didn't come without a price. They were seen as outliers, rebels against the norms of their time, and society often responded with fear or hostility. But here's the thing. It's not just about society being wrong. It's about human nature itself. Studies in neuroscience reveal that when we encounter ideas that challenge our worldview, the brain's fear center lights up. That's right. Intelligence, especially intelligence that forces us to see things differently, activates the same neural circuits that respond to danger. In other words, deep thinkers can trigger a fear response, not just because their ideas are hard to grasp, but because they make people feel unsafe. And when people feel unsafe, they push back. But why does this happen? Why does intelligence, of all things, trigger such a primal fear? The answer lies in evolution. For most of human history, survival depended on belonging to a group. The more intelligent someone became, the more they became a threat to the group's cohesion. Deep thinkers were often seen as outcasts, not because they were less human, but because they were perceived as too different, too disruptive to the group's survival. So, when a deep thinker walks into a room, they aren't just challenging ideas, they're challenging the very social order. And that's a problem. People resist what they don't understand, and they fear what they can't control. Now, let's take a moment to reflect. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt intellectually outmatched? Maybe you were in a conversation where someone shared a profound idea or insight, and instead of engaging, you pulled back. Why did you do that? Was it because you didn't understand? Or was it because, on some level, that intelligence made you feel uncomfortable? That's the mirror effect at work. The more you see someone else's brilliance, the more you see your own limitations. But it's not all doom and gloom. Just because intelligence can be isolating doesn't mean it's inherently bad. On the contrary, deep thinkers are the ones who push humanity forward. They are the ones who dare to ask the tough questions, challenge the norms, and shape the future. And while society might resist them in the moment, their contributions eventually reshape the world. So, what can we take away from all this? Well, the next time you encounter someone who challenges your beliefs, don't shy away from it. Don't let fear control your response. Instead, embrace the discomfort. Because growth only happens when we confront the things that make us uneasy. And if you are one of those deep thinkers, don't let society's resistance discourage you. Keep questioning, keep challenging, and keep pushing forward. Because in the end, it's the thinkers, the disruptors, the ones who see the world differently, who change it.